Chapter 14. The Realization and the Leap of Faith. The days following the gala were some of the loneliest days Sebastian had ever known. He wandered through his expansive estate. Each room was a reminder of the emptiness that had settled into his life. His heart ached with the familiar blow of his loss, but this time it wasn't the loss of Alice that haunted his thoughts. It was Lisa. He had spent endless hours replaying their last conversation, dissecting every word, every emotion. He couldn't deny the truth any longer. He had fallen in love with Lisa. Not as a replacement for Alice, not as a way to fill the void she had left behind, but for who Lisa was. Her strength, her passion, her resilience. These were the things that had drawn him to her, the things that had made him feel alive again after years of numbness. Sitting in his office, surrounded by the relics of a life that now felt like someone else's, Sebastian allowed himself to fully embrace this realization. Lisa was not Alice, and that was exactly why he loved her. She was a different kind of fire, a force of nature that had swept into his life and turned everything upside down. And now he wanted her, not as a second choice, but as his choice. But with that realization came another one. He had been holding on to the past for too long. His guilt over moving on from Alice had blinded him to the possibilities of a future with Lisa. He had been so afraid of dishonoring Alice's memory that he had almost let Lisa slip through his fingers. He stood up, looking out of the large windows that overlooked the vast gardens of his estate. For the first time in years, he felt a sense of clarity. If he wanted to be with Lisa, if he truly wanted to be with her, he needed to let go of the past. He needed to embrace the possibility of a new love, of a future that wasn't tied to the past. At this moment he felt ready to let go, ready to move forward, and ready to fight for the woman who had reignited the flame within him. Lisa's dance studio was her sanctuary, the one place where she felt truly at home. But today, as she stood in front of the mirror, with her reflection staring back at her, she couldn't shake the turmoil that had been brewing inside her since the night of the gala. The studio was empty. She moved through her routine, trying to find solace in the familiarity of the steps. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't stop thinking about Sebastian. She had been so afraid of getting hurt, afraid of losing herself in a relationship with him, that she had pushed him away. But in doing so, she realized she had also been denying her own feelings. As she danced, memories of their time together flooded her mind. The way he had looked at her with such admiration, the way he had supported her dreams without hesitation, the way he had opened up to her about his grief and his past. She had seen glimpses of the man behind the billionaire facade, and she knew that what she felt for him was real. It wasn't just attraction or gratitude for his support. It was love. But love was terrifying. Love meant vulnerability, and vulnerability meant the possibility of getting hurt. She had been hurt before, so deeply that she had vowed never to let anyone have that kind of power over her again. But with Sebastian, she realized it wasn't about power. It was about trust. In the middle of her studio, as her breath became soft gasps from the exertion of her dance, Lisa came to a decision. She was tired of running, tired of letting her fear dictate her life. She loved Sebastian, and she wanted to be with him. But to do that, she needed to take a leap of faith. She stopped dancing, her reflection still and resolute. It was time to let go of the past, the pain, the fear, the memories that had held her back for so long. It was time to embrace the future with Sebastian, whatever it might bring. That evening, Sebastian sat in his study, a glass of whiskey in his hand, the weight of his realization heavy on his shoulders. He had spent the day thinking about what he would say to Lisa, how he would convince her that he was ready to move forward, that he wanted to build a future with her. Just as he was about to pick up his phone to call her, there was a knock on the door. Surprised, he got up and opened it. his heart skipping a beat when he saw Lisa standing there, her expression a mixture of determination and vulnerability. "Lisa," he said, his voice soft with emotion. She looked up at him, her eyes reflecting the same turmoil he felt. "Sebastian, I'm sorry. I am so sorry for pushing you away, for not believing in what we could have." Sebastian shook his head, stepping aside to let her in. "You don't need to apologize. I should have seen how much I was holding on to the past, how that was affecting us." Lisa took a deep breath, stepping into the study and facing him. "I've been scared, Sebastian. Scared of getting hurt, of losing myself again. But the truth is, I've fallen in love with you. And I don't want to run away from that anymore." His heart swelled at her words, and he took a step closer to her. "I've fallen in love with you too. Not because you remind me of Alice, but because you are you. And I want to be with you. Not as a way to forget the past, but because I want to build a future with you." Lisa looked up at him, tears filling her eyes. But this time they were tears of relief and of hope. "I want that too. But we have to do it together. We have to let go of the past and trust each other enough to move forward." He nodded, reaching out to take her hand in his. "We will. I promise you. We'll make this work. I'm done living in the past. I want to live in the present with you." For a moment they stood there, the weight of their past still lingering, but no longer holding them back. In that moment, they both realized that love wasn't about replacing what had been lost. It was about finding something new, something just as beautiful in the present. Lisa stepped closer, wrapping her arms around Sebastian as he held her tightly. The fears, the doubts, the ghosts of their pasts were still there, but they no longer had the power to control them. Together, they could face whatever came next, knowing that they had each other to lean on. As they stood there, holding on to each other, they both knew that this was the beginning of something new. A new chapter in their lives, one where they could build something beautiful together, free from the shadows of the past. They were ready to take that leap of faith, hand in hand, into the future.